I was very skeptical walking in, and I was incredibly impressed coming out. The big thing for the lawyers is, and this is where you won me over, is there's a lot of work that goes into this. And I need help from your end to kind of help me through that. I mean, you know, it looks like so ominous when I get a set of instructions. I'm like, I don't have time for this shit. And everyone, Mike was very calm, and that, Tom, we're going to get this. This is easy. I got this covered. You do this, you do, you know, and, you know, that's really the home run. I had just become involved in April of that year in the case. I didn't know anything about the case, took no discovery. I was going to try the case with the person who was very knowledgeable about the case, but we would try the case together. We had very severe time restrictions. We really began this process of setting up jury research in early May, and so we were very short time-wise when we contacted First Court. We knew we needed something, but we needed it, you know, our strong preference was to do it with real live jurors rather than, you know, an internet survey, which we didn't think would really help us identify or pinpoint that particular issue. I thought that it made it more believable, just the human interaction of the whole process, made it seem less like a report where you're dealing with a lot of faceless people. And yes, I find that information to be very helpful, but the quality of the information was better, in my opinion, on our particular issues. We couldn't have captured in a pure internet survey setting what we were trying to accomplish here. And that was, how would people react to particular people, where we had videotape testimony from them, and they would see their face and they would see their mannerisms of speaking and form opinions. I probably wouldn't have done internet jury research for this particular case at that juncture. Like I said, it's something we don't do enough, the jury research, and I just think it has its place in a lot more cases than it's in right now. I started thinking about certain issues in the case and felt that they really needed to be explored in jury research. The issue number one that we had identified turned out to be not nearly as strong for us as we had anticipated. And that they saw some videotape testimony of our primary defendant, and they were not impressed with him. There was a lack of a trust level. While we were concerned with some of the conduct by the defendants in the case, we had not thought it was perhaps as egregious, but jurors had a tendency to think that our conduct had some real problems to it. I know our real-life professionals were incredibly impressed. We represented lawyers in a professional malpractice case. They saw the videotapes. They watched the deliberations and that. They were very impressed with the process. And one of them in particular was a skilled trial lawyer who had not used the process like it before and was impressed. I know that their decision-making was impacted by what they saw. They certainly appreciated the reports, and they quoted parts of juror deliberations in making changes about the case and in making changes about the decisions and values. So they certainly seem to be impacted about it. You know, for what you guys were able to pull off with the money you were outlaying, because remember, you're going to pay all those people. I could see it. I could add up the numbers. I know how much was coming out of your pockets. I thought that it was an incredibly inexpensive process. I'm sure that we'll be working together soon enough.